Welcome to episode 8, our final episode in our tour of the South Island. It was time to head to Naseby, a historic town nestled in the foothills of the Mount Ida Range in central Otago. In winter, it's the ice skating and curling capital of New Zealand. Well, we've arrived in Naseby. We've heard lots about the indoor curling ring here, so we've come across from St. Bathans to Naseby to try out our luck with some curling. Here's Kane's first attempt at the old curling.
Do your left foot if you go.
No, right foot. For the standard one. And he is a lawn bowls champion, so we'll see. Oh my gosh, I won. I never won anything against Kane. We had a great time curling in Naseby. So curling is where you slide stones on a sheet of ice towards a target area at the end of the lane. It's similar in theory to lawn bowls. Kane is very good at lawn bowls, so naturally took well to curling. Would definitely recommend heading to Naseby and trying your luck at this Olympic sport. Okay, so I may have spoke too soon at the curling centre about me winning because, of course, Kane beat me. What was the score?
8-3, was it?
8-3. I still won 3 out of the 8 games though, didn't I? But yeah, I lost a bit of enthusiasm at the end there. So we had breakfast in Naseby and we are now heading out of Naseby. We're not quite sure which way or where we're going yet. We're a little bit unsure. But I really want to see the Danseys Pass. The internet's not super clear on whether or not you can pass it in a motorhome or not. So lots of people say, no, you can't. There's a big sign up at the start apparently that says no motorhomes, no caravans. But then there's loads of people that say they have done it with a motorhome. We're just going to take a little sneaky look up towards the start of the pass just to see if it's closed. We're pretty sure it will be because it's pretty icy. You have to pass this big mountain range in front of it. The road up to the start of the Danseys Pass is really quite spectacular. So even if you don't want to drive through the pass, it's worth heading towards the hotel and maybe stopping in for a bite to eat. That way you can enjoy some of the scenery and then turn around at the hotel and head back towards Naseby without going fully into and over the pass. We've just seen a sign up here, but it's looking orange, so probably a no-go. Okay, so the road's definitely closed. And I've been saying Danseys. It's taken me about 100 times looking online to figure out that it's Danseys Pass, between Naseby and Livington, I think. Okay, so we're not sure where to go here. We're standing on the Danseys Pass, and we've got two options. We can either go to the woods of the coast, Jesus, it's quite windy, or we can go back towards Cromwell. So we're going to flip a coin. Heads Cromwell, heads Cromwell, tails we go to Palmerston and go on the coast.
Heads.
So what was that?
Heads.
Cromwell.
Cromwell.
Cromwell in it. So from Naseby, after the flip of a coin, we headed towards Cromwell. We decided we wanted to stay overnight in Clyde. Driving through central Otago never disappoints. Beautiful open spaces and great landscapes are easy to enjoy from the passenger seat of the motorhome. Clyde is a small central Otago town, right at the entrance to the Cromwell Gorge. Since the 1980s, Clyde has been well renowned internationally for its beautiful Pinot Noirs. We came through to Clyde last night and we parked up at the reserve here, which is owned by Contact Energy, and the dam is right behind us. It's a beautiful spot overlooking the water, and we're heading off to Cromwell today. The weather had really started to pack in at this time in our trip. Little did we know that that flip of a coin would lead us into an adventurous few evenings. So we arrived in Cromwell, had some lunch at a local hotspot, tried some of the Cromwell wines, and then headed over towards Omarama on our way back to Christchurch to wrap up our trip and head home. Little did we know that the rain was going to burst the bank of the river. Tooting at 11:30 at night woke us up, and we opened the door to a full-scale top 10 holiday park evacuation.
Oh no, we got
It was time to leave. We drove out through the river and parked up next to the pub at higher ground. Lucky for us, we were staying in a motorhome, so we could easily go back to sleep once we were in a safe and dry spot. The community hall was opened up for the people who were staying in the hotel rooms at the holiday park, and we had to bunker down the hatches for a few days stuck in Omarama. All roads in and out were shut due to slips and flooding. Well, it's official. We've made it home to Auckland. We had such an awesome time travelling around the South Island in our Traillight motorhome, Betty. We started off leaving Auckland, heading for Wellington and crossing on the Inter-Islander ferry and then exploring the Marlborough region. We checked out some wineries, the beaches and some of the region's greatest hikes. Then it was down the coast. We went to Kaikoura, great spot, one of my favourite places to enjoy the South Island's scenic coastal beaches. It's a great place to stop if you're keen on motorhoming, and I'd probably spend a good week or so there in the future. From there, we headed over the Lewis Pass. The Maruia Hot Springs was a great spot, and I'm keen to get back there ASAP and enjoy maybe a couple of nights there with some girlfriends. Then we headed towards Greymouth, stopping at Reefton and Blackball and enjoying some of those old mining towns in the Greymouth West Coast region. Unfortunately, we couldn't head over Arthur's Pass because of the weather, so we headed back to Christchurch and spent some time exploring Christchurch. We caught up with friends in Methven and then headed south. We went to the beautiful lake camp just outside of Lake Clearwater. This is a must-stop location. Loved it. Close to places where they filmed Lord of the Rings. So I would definitely head back there if we go back to Christchurch soon. Really recommend that as a stop on your South Island tour. From there, obviously, we continued south and went to Tekapo. Lake Tekapo is one of New Zealand or the South Island's most scenic places, and it's super popular with the tourists. We continued up to Mount Cook, Omarama, Queenstown, Wanaka, and enjoyed some of the adventure that there is to offer there. Then it was on to Te Anau. We spent a few days in Te Anau, really enjoyed Te Anau. Great place for motorhoming, great place for walking, hiking, and just enjoying the small South Island town. Milford Sounds was a great spot. We really enjoyed that, and we'll definitely go back and enjoy some more of those dock sites along the road to the Milford Sounds. Yeah, it was a really great place to explore some nature, and there was heaps of dock sites that we could stay at. So Milford Sounds and that road to Milford Sounds is a good little tour to do as well. Then we were lucky enough to enjoy Real NZ's 2-night Doubtful Sounds cruise. Loved this. Such a great experience, and I was a little bit apprehensive or unsure if we could do this while we were motorhoming, but it was easy to park our motorhome up and pack a couple of bags and head on the Milford Mariner and enjoy that beautiful, quiet, Doubtful Sounds with a few others aboard. From there, we continued to head south. Lake Monowai was a great spot just south of Te Anau, and then on to Riverton, Bluff, Invercargill and the Catlins. The weather really started to pack in for us in Southland, so it was cold, wet, windy and pretty miserable. So we didn't spend as long down in the deep south as maybe some others might. From the Catlins, which we had heard great things about, we actually headed back towards Central Otago, and the hope for a little bit more of those blue sky, beautiful Central Otago days. We loved curling in Naseby. What a treat. And funnily enough, so many people have been reaching out to us about curling in Naseby. It was a real popular one on our Instagram. So put that on your list and be sure to check it out when you're next in Central Otago. From there, we flipped a coin, and little did we know that that flip of the coin was going to send us into some of the worst weather in the country at that time, and we got stuck and evacuated from the top 10 holiday park in Omarama, where the river burst and literally the river got re-navigated through this top 10 holiday park. So we were in a place that made the news. And then actually, unfortunately, we were running out of time a little bit, so we hightailed it once we were able to out of Omarama to Christchurch, and we left Betty in Christchurch. So hopefully we can get back there soon and continue exploring some of the destinations that we missed. So we didn't get to do much of the West Coast, and we didn't get to do Nelson. So watch this space. We're keen to get back there and do that again. My top 3 things to do so far in the South Island: surfing in Kaikoura, or if you don't surf, spending some time watching the surf and the seals on the Kaikoura coast. Lake Camp, beautiful spot, not far out of Christchurch, definitely recommend that. And probably the 2-night overnight experience aboard the Real NZ Milford Mariner in the Doubtful Sounds. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching us and following us around the South Island for season 1 of Traillight Tours. Thanks very much to Traillight. We hope you enjoyed this, and if you are keen to explore motorhoming, reach out to the crew at Traillight Motorhomes and Caravans. We are here to help, and we would love to hear about your dreams and goals of motorhoming with us around New Zealand. Tune in again sometime soon.